Welcome to a new episode of the MVP Podcast. We talk hustle, business, content creation, athletics, and entrepreneurship.
Every day I'm hustling.
The MVP Podcast, let's go, starts now.
I like this a lot better, Josh.
Shout out Big Deal Brewing.
Yeah.
Spitting Chicklets Gang.
We cracked a cold one.
Some Michelob Ultra.
Yeah. It's the bottom one. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there's the smart one of the three.
Post
Which is
hydrated.
ironic.
You're staying hydrated, Pope.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up the doc that we had going on the you shared that, didn't you, Josh?
Yeah, the MVP light. Yeah, it's just at the bottom of that one.
That's what I thought. I'm gonna try to get
So this is episode 15. Kind of crazy, actually,
Oh,
when you think about it.
Dude,
it's been a minute since I've been on one. I was probably on episode like 9.
That was probably
well,
about, I could probably tell you right now. 13 was just me and Alex. I feel like we might have skipped 12.
did we skip 12?
We might have, because I don't see
that
a
would
12.
be hilarious. Who was
10 was
before Nick?
Eduardo, so we must have skipped 12, because I don't remember doing one after Nick and beats.
Did we skip 11 and 12? Who was 11?
11 was Nick Vacco,
Okay.
Detail King.
That makes sense. Who was 12 then?
There is none.
There was no 12. Who was
Unless-
13?
13 was Josh and Alex. We did that little Christmas talk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was
And
a fun
then
one.
14
That
was
a fun one.
Kiki, Miss Teen PA, last one.
Yeah. Right
Yeah, I
on.
missed a good one.
But we're still going
Yeah,
to call it
we'll
episode
call one.
15, so
I like episode 15. That's a good start.
we'll kick it off with a little check-in with everybody. What's
Yeah.
new? What's going on? What are your goals for 2023?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've recently, same old, keeping up with this recruiting internship. Was doing a couple cars as well. This past week, actually, crazy story, Josh. I meant to tell you this, Pope. I haven't told you this. So I was working on this car this week, right? And it was a brand new Audi SQ5, and I'm like going around the whole car, and the doors are open on like all the sides of it, right? So like typical interior detail. So I'm going through, I'm detailing this thing. I go to start on like the driver's side of like the detailing work after vacuuming. And I'm like looking over, and I'm looking at the screen, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. The front of the screen on like the driver's side, so like the Audi is split up into like two. So
Yeah.
you have like your on the SQ5 you have like the little screen to the right, and then you have the speedometer cluster like right behind the steering wheel, and the cluster wasn't turning on. I'm like, that's really weird. So I kept like detailing like around it, right? And I'm like, it was like it happened like, or it wasn't on like the whole entire time I was vacuuming or anything. And so I go to I like tell the guy, I'm like, before I leave him, he was pumped with the detail, and I'm like, dude, for some reason like this like speed cluster isn't turning on. So he we're like trying to, dude, like I'm looking through the owner's manual, because I'm like, dude, like this has never happened to me, like just like the speed cluster turn off. And I'm like, so I'm calling my mechanic. I'm like Roger, you by chance know like anything that would do that, like programming wise or anything? He's like, man, like those new ones, like they'll just like turn off. So like I'm like nervous. I mean, I know I didn't do anything because all I use is glass cleaner on the back of it. But I'm like, bro, like how crazy is that? It just like automatically flipped right off, and I'm like on a brand new car, But like he called me the next morning. He asked if I plugged like anything into the 12 volt like electrical outlet in the car. And I'm like, no, I like didn't. And he said like the car was completely dead. So it was like a big electrical issue, I'm guessing, in the car, bro. But it was like crazy. I was like, it was nothing that ever really happened to me before. So I was in a garage just doing that. But that was my week. That was like last week. That was like, I was just like, oh my god, my one detail I got in while I could. But
Yeah, it probably gets a little nerve-wracking there for a minute.
Oh,
Making
dude,
sure
yeah.
that-
Yeah, it was
Car
a
issues
definite.
are never fun.
What was that, brother? Yeah, no, yeah, they're not. I mean, especially whenever you're working on them too. And I was like, that was a first, so definitely interesting. I'm curious to see what it'll be in the future, but yeah, that was like my past week. So, how about you, Josh? Anything fun?
Just doing some Pens games here and there, and some had the last Steeler game on Sunday, which was kind of fun. Even though they didn't make the playoffs, it was still good to beat the
Yeah.
Browns.
What was
And
the what was the atmosphere in there? Like whenever it came on that it was like 9-6. I just saw people
well,
get
it was pretty hype there towards the end, and then it was like they had it on like the left side of the scoreboard for like the last minute or so of the game, and everybody
uh
kind of just deflated. Then as soon as like you noticed they were losing, they just
yeah.
everybody started piecing out. And
Yeah. That's what
I knew
yeah.
everybody left early because when we left like a little bit later, there was like not that much traffic. It took like way less than usual to get out, so everybody pieced out early because that was that for the season, you know. But
Yeah.
overall, I mean, not a bad year, I don't think, for them. So did that
No.
Sunday,
I'll
and
admit, I underestimated Kenny Pickett a lot.
Dude, me
I think
too.
everybody did.
Me too. I after watching like the first 2 weeks, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. And then, dude, like this second half of the year, holy crap! Like,
Really good.
dude just picked up like out of nowhere. I think we finished super strong, which is optimistic for like the future. But I don't know what we're gonna do team wise, bro. I don't know if we're gonna have the same pick time. We're gonna get the same if we're gonna get the same like team coming back. You know.
No, it's definitely gonna be different next year, but I think it's a good foundation for sure. We got a lot of young rookies that are have shown out this year, and
Yeah.
but I think they will. Hopefully, they will make some changes in the offseason and get some good draft picks this year.
What was the
'Cause
highlight?
they did real well last year.
What was the highlight of the recording? Everything.
Yeah, this
Like
past
I
season.
think probably, I think everything comes back to George Pickens for me because like it seemed like every time there was like a real big moment, he was in the center of it. So Christmas Eve, that game-winning touchdown against the Raiders, where he threw like right at me, and Pickens just swiped across and caught it. I was like, that's up there for sure.
You
And then
you guys had a
getting the
connection.
selfie after was pretty sweet too. So that's probably the highlight I would say.
Dude, he's
You
a
guys,
menace.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
he's the real deal. Like watching him is incredible. But you guys definitely had a connection, Josh. Like he definitely kind of looked for you. I think in some of
yeah. I
your
feel like
pregame.
some of those guys, like those younger guys like that, where they're like our age. I mean, he's younger than me. He's 21.
That's
It's
crazy.
just like a lot more. It's a lot more relatable. You know what I mean? Like they get
Right.
social media, they understand like how it works, and I think they kind of seek out like the younger um, generation of like video people. So they just kind of there's just like that connection that's built in, and it's not just me. It's with Mikey and Alex and like all the other dudes that do what I do. So
Mhm.
it's pretty cool to see. But George
Yeah,
Pickens is probably my highlight of the season.
that's cool, man. That is really cool. Do you have the
Hope, but
chance
what
to
if
No,
what's
you're good.
that?
You're good. I was gonna say, did you ever have the like chance to like get to talk to anybody really like on the field, or was everybody just kind of really locked in?
Um, Not usually like on the field, except for like
Yeah.
maybe towards the end of the game, just because when they come out for warm ups and everything, they're pretty damn locked in.
Yeah.
And you just kind of try to stay out of their way and let them get warmed up and do their thing. But every now and then, like when I was in whenever they do the run out, they do like they line up side by side when they do like the individual player intros after that. So like I was right in the middle of that this weekend, and like sometimes they'll be like saying stuff like getting real hype, usually swearing and shit, and I'm just like yeah, like trying to film.
Like you want to give them a chest bump.
The adrenaline's pumping at that point. You're just trying to get the shot and not get run over at the same time. But yeah, not too many conversations during the game. After the game, it can be easier, but also they're trying to just get off the field and not have to talk to all these different reporters and stuff. So
Right.
um, I think with time,
That's
like
cool.
they'll start to recognize you, like, and then
Right.
you can build a little bit more of a connection.
Right. Kind of like along the lines of like what Mikey, with some
Yeah,
of the things that he was able to do.
yeah, he was able to. That helped him a lot, and I think he was actually working for Gigi before he did the NFL stuff. So I think it helped him because him and Gigi were
Really?
like real good, real close friends. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was doing that prior to getting the LCP.
Yeah,
Is it
I'm not
yeah.
100%, but I'm pretty sure he mentioned that he was doing it beforehand, and then he got into the program like after
Yeah.
that.
We'll get him on to talk about it. So
Oh yeah, he's on the
one
list
of
for
these
sure.
days. One of these days. How's the job been, Pope? What's new there? How's sales life treating you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, after like I my first couple months, like I struggled with just learning the whole process, and then November I popped off. I was the number one rep in the company.
Swear
Uh,
that was big. I
yeah,
was pumped for you, brother.
yeah. It was a
They made
pretty
some
it
they
was a
made some
pretty
good
cool
memes
feeling.
of you too.
What's that?
They made some pretty good memes of you too, where you were
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
little
They
buddy. Why the elf? Why Buddy the elf?
so
I'm
just because it was
confused with that.
Christmas theme, and then
Okay.
that same week, we did this like holiday like spiff where like the more money you earn in the office like on deals, the more fake money you got towards like auctions for like big items that they brought in. So of course they made me dress up as a fucking elf to bring all the gifts out. So
That's
it'll be
awesome.
funny to bring
Why didn't I
recognition.
get a picture of that, bro?
I
There's
got it
definitely
on
a
my
picture.
phone. I got the whole shebang on my phone of me like I was really into character with it too. Like I was like, "Who's been a good boy? Who's been a good girl?" Like, I was acting up. It was too much actually.
I can only imagine.
But yeah. So and then last month, I did really well. I took the last week off, and I still was number I think 12 in the company.
Oh,
And
sick.
then this month, currently, I'm number 2 in the company.
Oh yeah, bro. What's
So
up?
yeah, I kind of learned really what it takes to sell because like in what we do and the people that we talk to, and we talk to a lot of blue collar individuals who are like I've talked to guys before that are 60 feet up in a tree when I call them, and then
Right.
they'll some of them will take the time to talk, some of them they'll tell you things you don't want to hear,
Yeah.
um, and
Hey, like
so
pound salt, buddy. I'm up
yeah,
here. I'm
pound
shooting one
salt.
of those
I'm
trees.
cutting a tree on him. I might die. Like, but
Swear.
yeah. So if really what I've taken away from my job is like if I could sell this product, I pretty much can sell anything.
Yeah. Hell yeah,
Um,
bro.
and so like I've cheated around the idea of like because I've seen this crazy amount of success over the last few months that personally I didn't think I was going to see for like probably till like really a full year, maybe like a year and a half. But I grew so quickly just because I became very close with my manager and he really dialed me in on what it takes to sell and not to just do it like once, but to consistently do it. That's the key in
Right.
sales. It's not like, you could blow up one time, but it's like what makes you great at sales is like, can you repeat? Like, can your lows just not be that low? It's not really how high your highs can be because that's all really based off of luck. The skill part is how high can you make your low point,
Yeah.
and
Hell
that's
yeah.
kind of what I've been really good at doing the last couple months is making sure that I don't have a month where I don't make 100% commission or where
Yeah.
I'm outside of the top 20.
No, it's huge, bro. I mean, it's awesome to see you like doing well down there, man, and hitting your
Yeah, I
goals.
appreciate
It's
it.
sick, bro. Yeah, it's sick. Proud of you, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty sweet to see because you were talking about it for a while this fall about, and even this summer when you got started, you were kind of figuring everything out. And I know you were a little bit discouraged at first, but also extremely optimistic about like the next months, and it's paid off for you in November and December, and now we're starting fresh this year, and you've got the whole 12 months ahead of you, and it
yeah.
seems to be going in a good direction. So it's been cool to see that.
Really, I mean, what it all points back to, and kind of like what my boss tells me, is just like you never lose, and this goes for all of us. You never lose good work. Like there's a difference between you never had something that you don't have. So if someone hangs up on me and I'm like, damn it, there's something more that I could have done. You never have what you don't have, but you also never lose good work either. So even like there's been deals that I've had where it's been like they didn't buy right there, and I was like shocked. Like I don't know why they didn't, But then I get a call a few days later, hey, I want to go ahead and I want to move forward with this. Like everything went well. And I'd say like the biggest difference between right now for me and what it was in the past is like the way I set like proper expectations and just like pretty much make it a no-brainer for people. Like I get off the phone now with people where they tell me like, thank you so much for calling me. Like I I don't know what I needed this. And
That's a great
very,
feeling.
yeah, very rarely do you like if I was spending $500 for something, there's no way I'd be telling them thank you for letting me spend this money.
It's
But
funny how that works too, man. Like at the end of the day, like all of us have seen it where like this cost is like minuscule in terms of like the service that you provide. So at the end of the day, like when people are super happy with the end result, it's like the best feeling in the world versus over that money that you might have gotten for that job,
yeah,
for
no,
sure.
for
Yeah,
sure.
no.
So what?
Josh,
I mean, I've been out of it for a minute, um,
yeah,
with you, Alex. So what's your plan? Because I know like graduation's going to be coming up soon, and
bro,
obviously you're
right?
doing well with detailing, but you're also getting a degree.
Yeah, exactly. So me and Josh, we've been flirting with the ideas of a lot of things that I'm want to do like after school wise. Um, and I kind of cracked down to like, sorry, beer burp, getting a getting finding something that I enjoy doing like on a 9 to 5 basis, and then managing the detailing business as like a side hustle. So, um, I think I'll probably maximize how much I enjoy it by doing that as well. And not completely stress myself out with making it full time once I get out of school. And I always kind of wanted to experience it, the more of the corporate side, because I've never had a 9 to 5 job. So
So
getting getting something where I enjoy doing it for a little bit, and figuring that out, and then managing the business along with it, I think is something that I'm gonna try to
coming
do
from
in the
someone
future.
that is on an 8 to 5, so
Yeah,
I work 8 to 5, so like I'm in that corporate realm
right.
as well. Um, the things that you learn from it, I mean, obviously structure, you learn like how to get into a rhythm. But most importantly for me, I feel like I learned how achievable it is to run a company where people work for you.
Yeah,
Like the owners of our company are doing it so right, and it doesn't seem so far fetched. Like, like I'd say at the end of the day, and you'll realize this if you do go into a 9 to 5, like
yeah.
financial freedom is like quite possibly like the greatest thing ever because you want to like it sucks when like for me personally like with Danielle down here and she'll text me like hey you want to go work out at 2 p.m. and I'm like
hmm
oh I'm working
When you hop and ship and working with her, brother, when's that gonna take place, huh?
my goal this year so like I know we were
Yeah,
just talking about our 2023 goals like literally my only goal is to have multiple streams of income this year. That's my
there you
only
go.
goal because
Yeah.
I realize there's no way you can save money if you have to put away money you get from one stream of income. You can't, it's just not feasible. There's too much shit to pay for. Even if you stop, at what I do, the going out, the having all that fun,
hmm
even with that, it's not feasible to put away a certain amount of money to actually like invest in shit. So like my goal is just to stack up this money that I'm getting from work and just hand it to her and be like, do what you do and let me follow so I can see what I have to do in order to do this.
That's a good plan.
Yeah,
I like
that's a
that,
good goal
bro.
for the year. I think the multiple streams, it's pretty
That's what we were
relatable
talking
for
about.
everybody, and so there's a lot of people that are trying to seek that out in last year and now this year. And like you said, it makes everything a lot easier when it comes to like saving money and having a lot more money to just kind of, I don't want to say blow, but use on stuff because you
Oh,
just have
I
multiple
can do that.
streams.
I promise you that. I could do
Can you
that.
relate to that or?
Really, Popa? No, never.
God,
Um,
man, yeah. Alex, you didn't get. Neither of you got to make it down for my rivers trip. You missed
I
like
heard. I've heard some funny stories though,
you,
man.
you missed an adventurous night. At one point, I think I was up $800 or $900. I think I walked out in totality, including buying the hotel room for everybody. I also did that. I think I was down in totality $1,200.
The Rivers had your
Jeez.
number that night.
Dude, the Rivers, every casino of all time ever has my number because they know I'm not walking out until I make $1 million or I lose it all.
They got you. They
That's
got
why
you.
I'm so glad we don't have casinos down here, man. I'd be broke.
Right. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for
That's
you,
good.
bro.
But yeah, bring on like so.
Yeah, we got some good topics, bro.
Yeah.
Which we,
Yeah,
we
well, I was just kind of gonna tie into what we were just talking about when you brought up Alex and like him graduating, but I stumbled upon like a bunch of these deeper questions on Twitter randomly the other day, and one of them was like, "What matters most to you? What do you want? What gives you the most energy?" And I think that's kind of some of the stuff that's, well, it's not kind of, it's the stuff that's considered for these decisions about like what job you want, what you want to do with your own business, what you want to do with life in general. And it's basically all comes down to what matters most to you and what do you want out of life. And so I think it'd be good to talk about that. And
oh yeah.
honestly, we probably all don't know what we want necessarily, but we have
Mhm.
an idea.
Right. My
So
biggest
Pope, you want, or Alex, you want to go first?
I was
Either
gonna
one.
say,
We
like,
can just go
yeah,
down, yeah, just go down
yeah.
the line.
My was like my biggest thing too, like with having the business on the side and like Popa said, with having some other source of income, like to have both would be just incredible, and to manage both would be like even better and exceed it both. So like that's probably my biggest goal. And then, like save it, man. I don't want to work forever. That's my biggest thing too. So I want to be able to do the things I love. So that's probably why I'm leaning more towards managing both. Because I know like one can managing the business can kind of be like a 24/7 type of thing, like Josh, where you're worried about something, you're worried about not doing this, and you're worried about constantly marketing, constantly selling, constantly editing, constantly producing, and like
You got a
it's
scale
all
large enough to where none of that means anything to you.
that too, that
Yeah,
too.
that's
So
a
I
big
mean,
consideration.
it's the possibilities too. I think that are pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it rolling, and if one takes a course of its own, then so be it. I'm looking forward to
Going
it.
with the flow.
Yeah, exactly, man. My big goal, I think, at the end of the day, is just to be like, not to be like weird on like a close note, but like family, nice house, you know, and like be able to be a part of everyone in my family's life too. So
You
that's
know,
always a
but to tie into what we're all talking about, what matters the most, the first question they asked me at my job, and then you can answer this too, we could all answer this too, because I thought that was super important. It kind of goes back to this. Not necessarily what matters the most long term might be the right question, but what's your why? What's your why for right now, for what you do right now, for what you're going to do when you graduate? What's your why?
yeah. My why, I mean, like right now, it's like com- completely bust my ass in my 20s to be cool in my like later 30s and 40s, and have the cash stacked up for it. Like I'm cool like grinding, dude, and sacrificing doing some of the fun stuff on like even this Saturday I'm going to work at like 8:30 in the morning for a detail. So like I'm like cool being the weirdo, if that makes sense, and like spending the extra hours doing something working wise if it means, progressing in that business. So
Hey, every time
that's
I'm in
my
an
big
Uber at 2 a.m. on Saturday, I say I respect you because I'm spending money in your business.
Giant brother.
Uh,
I mean, don't get me wrong though. There's definitely nights though where you gotta break loose and have a little bit of fun.
yeah, it's all a balance at the end of the day.
Yeah, it
But I
is.
think
It is.
it's a good perspective to have.
Yeah. I
And I
like
don't
the
know.
You want me to go?
yeah,
No,
Josh.
what were you talking about?
No. I was just gonna progress onto the Chat GPT, but I want to hear what Josh's motivators for.
Yeah, I'll go and then we'll let Popa go, and
Yeah.
then we can talk about the Chat GPT. We got to inform Popa about this because he has no idea.
Yeah,
what
I
this
have
is.
no idea what the hell you guys are talking about.
Oh my god!
But I think Alex and I
That's a
are pretty
heavy
relatable about as far as like what matters most to us and what we want. And I'm in a similar boat where it's like kind of busting my ass at the moment to build the foundation to be able to do like really cool stuff in the longer term. And I say longer term, but some of it might be closer than I initially realized or that we realized, because I look back at the time, like even the last 12 months, how much has happened, how much I've been able to build, how much we've all been able to build. I know Popo, when we talk on the phone, I always bring up like 12 months ago, we were sitting in Professor Petrus's class doing the capstone class, and like none of this stuff was really going for us. And 12 months later, all of these opportunities have popped up for all of us, which is cool. So I think it's cool to see the timeline of how fast things can change. But busting my ass now to be able to build up cash and be able to do some cool things in the future for my own business, for my family, for my friends. And I can relate to a lot that like family matters a lot to me. Being able to do cool stuff with my friends, explore, travel. I'd like to do a lot more of that in the future. So I have sacrificed a lot of time in the last like 4 or 5 years, kind of being like the weird kid, like you said, where it was like, I know Popa's,
Yeah.
we were always, asking me to come up and hang out, and I was very rare occurrence if I came up there. But
Yeah.
I honestly I was either working at Treesdale making that side money, or I was, editing
But
something.
when you
or I
came up, man, it was a good time.
It was a good time. There was a couple times. We had some good times for sure.
Popa makes sure of that.
Oh
You-
yeah.
You can have a good time if you're up at WC with Popa.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
still have
indeed.
your,
It was-
I still have your keg in my garage, by the way.
Oh, hey, look at
Update on your keg.
you guys. I give you the receipt. You go ahead and you get your money for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of for me like what matters the most for me right now is just kind of whatever I can do to progress and put myself in the best spot possible. And you said your why. I mean, that basically answers that as well. Like my why is for my family, for myself. I think honestly that's probably the biggest thing is for myself. It sounds selfish, but like just proving
Not
to
at all.
myself that I could do all this stuff at a young age has been huge. Because
Yeah.
pre-college me or even like freshman college me was completely different than I am now.
Isn't that crazy too?
Which
whenever
is
you
just a
look back
wild
at it?
transformation to look at the
Yeah.
difference.
I was thinking about that today, and I was like, damn, really all I cared about whenever I got into college was like playing basketball at the D3
Yeah,
level.
like stuff
Which
like
is
that. I didn't even play
Wow,
golf
think
yet
about it.
really when I was
Yeah.
a freshman, which is crazy.
Number
And
two.
First time when you played in.
there we go. So like golf wasn't even the picture, like didn't really talk at all, like didn't have any of this stuff going for me, and then I've built all that in the last like 4 years, so it's cool to look back at that and be able to tell the story, and even
Bro,
just if
fuck
I
yeah.
tell the story to myself.
Dude, your growth the past like 2 years alone, it's been absolutely absurd. Like making
Yeah, the last couple months have been insane.
dude, what I think about is like from you making the detailing video that we did in my driveway to like you now, bro. It's unreal. It's
Well,
like
I
crazy.
just look back too, like when Popa and I, we would sit in the golf center.
Yeah.
Like no, it was like 2019, fall 2019. TikTok was just becoming like relevant then. We were just doing stupid shit to try to get viral, and none of the stuff that we did actually worked. I remember like we got our first video that got like 4,000 views or something, and it was
Wasn't it a sorority video or something like that you made?
It might have been some weird
Yeah.
sorority video, or it was I think one of the ones Popa, we were like chipping golf balls into the church pews, or like something weird like that just got a hell of views all of a sudden. And then I posted that one of the swimming pool, and that one went real viral, and we were like shitting our pants because we're like, holy shit, it's got 200,000 views. Then it got like 1 million.
My
And-
OG TikTok, it actually, I had a couple of videos go up, but it got banned.
Your TikTok got banned?
Yeah, I didn't post very.
That'll get you.
Very censored.
He went viral for sure. It
Yeah.
might have been
Viral.
sensitive.
Was it whenever you knocked that dude out? Was that the one you posted
No.
on your TikTok?
No,
Bro, if you
no.
would have posted that, you probably would have went viral.
Yeah, no, So I guess somebody sent it into Barstool, but I guess like Barstool never opened it. Like that's what a bunch of people told me that were there that they like sent the video into Barstool. And I was like, that would have been crazy if I was just scrolling through IG and I just see me knocking someone out on Barstool.
That's an all-time Popa story right there.
Yeah,
I remember
that's-
waking up the morning after and being like, "Holy shit, dude! What did you do?"
Dude, I remember I was like on the phone with people at like 4 a.m. Like poor Sam's trying to sleep, and I'm like, he was talking shit. I knocked him out cold. You should have seen it. It was crazy.
It was wild. You went 0 to like 1,000, bro. There, you're like, I'm gonna knock this guy's head off.
The walk afterward, like you were kind of like McGregor after. It was amazing.
Yeah, dude. And then Valente was like, "You picked the wrong one. You picked the wrong
That's the video I saw, was the Valente video, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
one." Valente was going crazy, bro.
Conor McGregor. He's Conor McGregor.
Yeah, dude, I was like a full bottle of proper 12 deep at that point, so nobody was touching me. And then it was like I was getting real nervous, real anxious as Connor was about to fight, and I was like, you know, and
The
then
whiskey had your frisky.
people start talking crap, and then I put it in. That was when like I was in my CBD era, like I was like CBD like the pouches, like
Oh yeah.
I put like 4 in my mouth. And I thought, like, my drunk mind thought, if he hits me and I have CBD in, I won't feel it. That was what my drunk mind was telling me. And then he, like, rocked me, and then the next thing I know, like, and the best part is, like, I tried to lie about all of it. People were like, you were, like, screaming. You were, like, I'm the king. And I was like,
You did.
I was upset. I was, like, trying to help him out. And they were like, you stood over him. And you tried to punch him while he was on the ground, and his eyes were in the back of his head. I was like, "That's my bad. I didn't. I wasn't."
I don't know who that guy was. That wasn't me.
I was like, "You guys have the wrong narrative here. That wasn't on video."
Wow, incredible.
So Popa, what's your why? What matters most to you?
So, in terms of like what matters most, like it's gonna be different than my why. So, what matters most to me right now is expanding my curiosity level. And for me, I feel the more curious that I get about entertaining different like avenues, that is what's going to build my personal brand. That's going to help build my like just help me become like smarter, more knowledgeable about different aspects of life. And that's ultimately what's going to drive me to my goals, which is to be independent, financially free, and to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Because at the end of the day, I want to be like, and that's why I got into sales, because I don't really genuinely want to work for somebody. I want to know that I earn my money my way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I guess like right now, like what matters most is being able to like I've been reading different books. Shit, I never read.
Popa reading, that's crazy.
I've been like just like watching different like videos and whatnot on trying to find like out different ways really to market not only myself but to dive into different markets. But my why is it's kind of similar to Josh. But I mean, obviously, growing up and battling with the things that I had to battle with, like just physically, um, I want to prove to myself that I don't have any limitations. That's my why. I want to prove to myself that I don't have, like, that's not an issue. And I also want to set, I guess it goes back to family too. I mean, certainly for my little brother, I want to be able to set a great example as a big brother. And that's something that I really want to work on this year because I feel like oftentimes I don't do that. Even when I went home, I felt like I didn't spend enough time with my family. So like that's something for me. I mean, you go away, you know, and you live 1,300 miles away from your family. It's difficult, you know. So I guess being the best son, you know, best brother that I
like
can
it,
be.
bro.
I like it.
my
I think
why.
that's big.
That's good goals, bro. And I think that's something that you could definitely hit. And you know, that's an easy one for you, I think, at this point, you know, because you're established and rolling now, so it's more so of kicking back and allocating the time over that way for sure. So that's something achievable, bro.
And it makes me feel good too. Like now that like I have like a stream of income coming in that I've never really seen before, being able to like provide for my family more. I mean, like when I go home, I could like do certain like I took my brother like literally I was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" He just told me a bunch of things. I was like, "Get in the car and we'll go. We'll just go get it all out. We'll go get whatever you want. Put it in the cart and let's go." Like just like
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
like the
that.
best
That's good.
feeling.
You know, and being able to, like, I guess, like for me, just on a personal level, like going home, I definitely want to include this because, like this, like I said, family does matter so much. Like out of everything that could have highlighted my trip back home, I haven't seen my sister walk since before she had her surgery, and when she came through the door, I was like waiting for her because she didn't know that I was home yet and like when she came through the door, she stood up out of the wheelchair like on her own, and she walked all the way to her room. And like it was like for
Oh,
me, I haven't seen it in like a year and a half, and like that was a super emotional moment for me because it was
oh
like
yeah.
uh, it made me feel good to see that you know she's grinding. I mean that's kind of like a big motivator for me when I see like someone go through something so traumatic in their life and to be able to work to the point where they're like doing like she was walking like extremely comfortably. Like it was really
Yeah,
lovely to see.
that is good to see, and it's been a long journey for her, so it's pretty rewarding for her, I'm sure, and it's also probably important for her to show you and for you to be there and everything too.
Yeah. No, she definitely after that saw it. She saw how excited I was. She made sure to show it off a lot more. Like
Yeah,
from
that's
like
good.
Yeah.
like wheeling around everywhere to then like she was like, "Oh, John Buck, this is cool," so she started walking around everywhere. So it was
Yeah, that's awesome to hear.
yeah, but
Um,
jump into this
all
whatever.
right, so I'll try to explain this the best way possible, but there's a pretty big revolution going on called ChatGPT. Basically, it's artificial intelligence, and the best way I would describe it is a calculator for life. Um, I don't fully understand it. I don't know if anyone fully understands it, but right now the way it's set up is you go to this website called chatgpt.com and you just go type in questions or information that you want, similar to what you would do for Google or a search engine, but not like Google where it just shows you different websites and search results. It'll actually like formulate a response and send it and type it out like right in front of you in real time. And there's really no limitation on like how in depth the response could be.
That's
Um,
wild.
it's pretty wild. Like you have to mess around with it to fully understand like how it's gonna change the world. But you can ask it like pretty, like for example, for this podcast, I was like, write me not this exact episode, but once I was writing the description for the YouTube caption, I was like, write a description for this podcast for the YouTube thing, and it just spits out like a 2 paragraph description that's like super good. Like you'd think like a really good writer wrote it, and it was in like seconds. So it's really useful for like stuff like that, creative stuff. You can use it for like coding. Like you'd say, write me an application that takes orders for T-shirts, and it'll spit out like the actual code in Java or whatever language you want it to be in. It would normally take a long time for a person to do. It'll spit it out right in front of you. Um, so it's really, and like for school and everything, it's huge for that. Like if you had a 5 paragraph essay, you can really say write a 5 paragraph essay on this topic, and it'll write like a full blown 5 paragraph essay. It's pretty,
Dude,
it's
I can
it's
only
insane stuff.
I can only imagine like this next semester because it's really started to take like a course of its own where like people are starting to know about it. So
Yeah,
it's going to be like so like relevant on it's going to be unbelievable. I think I could share my screen, Josh, if we
yeah. I
like
was gonna say if
pull
we
up
could pull it
Chat
up, that might be the
GBT.
easiest way to
Can you see my
demonstrate it.
screen? Can you see my screen?
I can't right now. Did you click
Share
share?
share system audio. Let me see. Yeah, you can. I think you can see it. All right, I got my entire screen up. Let's do.
Oh yeah.
Let's do Chat GBT. Gotta be careful with the history, though. You know.
Don't need nothing crazy
Yeah.
popping up.
So better calm down typing P's around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Popa might
Nice.
come up.
This is some wild.
Yeah.
I think I have an account. If not, I'm making a colossal waste of time.
Yeah, if you don't, just go ahead and share your social with everybody. Social security.
Yeah. I'll just throw that in. You know. Why
If you
not?
don't, I got an account already. I know for sure.
All right. I don't know why it's not letting me log in. Maybe it's not letting me do it for like screen. Oh no, it is. All right, cool. Oh, bad. It's
I know it's been pretty overwhelmed lately. It's been hard to like get on, but
All right,
if you
let's
can
see if
get
this
in, you
works.
should be good.
Come on, work with us. Might be. Let me try this. AMD. So let's try the AMD Titan one. Why not? Oh no, that's Gmail. It's pretty
Mine
wild.
said the
that, like,
same shit.
Okay, I can't get in mine. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Can you
I
get
think it
into
must be
yours right
down
now?
because it wasn't letting me in either. I just tried.
Really? Okay.
But it's
Well,
hard to
you'll be-
explain to you without showing
Like
you, but
showing-
it's pretty mind-blowing stuff. And people have been asking like super complex questions, and it'll spit out like answers about ethics and morals. And like the one that I just pulled up as an example I saw on Twitter, and this guy was like, I asked ChatGPT to give me 22 common regrets people have on their deathbeds.
Oh, that's
And so it
heavy.
spits out 22 things that people say that are basically about to die, what they regret about their life.
Read like
I'll
3,
start-
bro.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
read like
please
I'll read some to you, but they're pretty deep.
They're heavy.
I
They're-
did see something about this.
Yeah, you'll see stuff, but it's like not spending enough time with your loved ones, not pursuing your passions and dreams, not
Yeah.
taking care of your physical and mental health, staying in toxic or unhappy relationships, not traveling or experiencing new things, not being true to yourself, not saying I love you or I'm sorry to important people in your life.
I mean, like, genuinely, if you're on your deathbed right now, what would be your biggest regret?
Right now,
Oh, my biggest regret.
I feel like I don't have a ton of regrets so far. Like I mean, I'd like to travel more, but
Yeah.
maybe actually, I wish I
probably-
started golf earlier because I would have been fucking good if I started earlier.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely, like, I don't know. I have a totally different perspective on this than other people. Like, something as intricate as that, like, that gives me answers. Like, okay, if I was writing an essay, yeah, I would. But to be quite honest, I honestly probably wouldn't give a shit about that at all. Like,
Yeah.
I
In
don't
terms of
need answers
using
for
it for
things.
every day.
I'm an overthinker. So, like, if I asked it something that scared the piss out of me, I would be so scared until it happened.
Yeah.
Like, but
No, I get what you're saying. I think it's a pretty niche thing. It's still new, but I think it'll be interesting to see how people use it to
I want to know.
enhance like their everyday like working. Because like you could basically type in like make me a script to say for like selling whatever you sell SEO, and then it'll just fucking spit that shit out, and you'll just be like, all right, and then read it word for word right in front of you. All right, the person said this, and it'll tell you what to say, like you're like what you guys do already, but like you just ask a computer instead. So it's pretty wild stuff, and this is only like one of the cases that it can be used for. And people are predicting it's gonna like, some people think it's gonna completely collapse society. Some people are thinking it's gonna completely change things, but
Bro, I think it's going to really change like academia as the biggest thing.
yeah,
Like,
I don't think school is ever gonna be the same.
no, because the crazy part is like this dude. I just searched up his name. Sam Altman is the CEO of it, and we were talking about it, Josh. And it's literally a beta version right now. And Microsoft, did you see the offer Microsoft gave him?
I didn't.
$10 billion.
Really?
$10 billion, and it's in its beta phase, bro. Bill Gates gets his hand on that thing.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
it's gonna
Lord.
be you put that together with
Oh.
like
My
Siri
lord.
and like Alexa, the voice assistant apps, and you're gonna have
Oh,
like a living,
it's
breathing
gonna
person that
murder. It's
talks to
gonna
you.
murder them. I think.
It's gonna
I
be
think
insane.
Chat GPT is going to murder Alexa and Siri.
It might, dude. Like it's
Dude. I mean, it's when like you ask Siri a question. I'm gonna say like 3 times out of 10 you're getting like an accurate answer. You know
yeah.
what I mean? You ask that thing a question, you're getting an almost dead nuts answer on everything that I've asked it. It has been pretty much spot on. Now imagine this. Imagine if they took that and they programmed it into your phone instead of saying, "Hey Siri," you're saying, "Hey Chat GBT," and you're getting a
That's what I think is gonna
yeah,
happen. I think you're
yeah.
gonna see it take over like certain voice assistants like that, and it's gonna become literally like a living, breathing assistant that you can like talk to, like have legitimate conversations with.
Yeah.
How are people smart enough to make that?
Dude, that's what I
That's what
wonder
I don't
too.
get.
And then I wonder like
We
the
live in the
moral.
Truman Show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could like,
We can't get
and
into
it's just kind of crazy. Like they're honestly worried at this
hang on my
point that
phone
like
for 5 minutes if we
that
keep talking like that.
that these things are going to like basically get to the point where they can build and teach themselves. Like they're getting that intelligent.
AI will be the demise of like mankind. Like it will be the downfall of mankind.
That's what Elon Musk
Can't
thinks. He
control it.
said the AI will get out of control at some point.
Yep, and
Yeah.
there's no way you can't control AI. Like
Yeah.
there's no
It's so funny too from the guy that makes like autonomous vehicles. It's literally literally saying that AI is going to be the demise of us, which is like kind of scary at the same time. But I mean, I think like 100% he's right. It's either him or Bill Gates. I think's right. It's either going to be a massive virus again, or uh, AI. I think
Yeah.
AI is more likely than a virus, as like we all lived through.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, I don't know. They
I
both
don't
sound
know. One might be worse than the
kind
I
other.
mean I'm
What,
selfish. As long as it ain't in my lifetime, I don't give a shit. But
of bad.
uh,
what do you think would be worse? What do you think would be like a worse way to watch like society absolutely crumble?
um, well, we kind of lived through the disease shit a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't completely crumble society, but it was pretty wild stuff.
Mhm.
I think the technology is ultimately going to be something that'll be the downfall in the longer term. I think it'll result, maybe not the technology itself that kills everything, but like, and not even that everything will die, but um, the technology could be what leads to something bigger happening, countries going at each other, and who knows. Then you get into like the whole space colonization thing, and like who
because
gets to own planets. It gets pretty messy.
I read something that's like pretty much when I was reading like about AI and how it can be the downfall of society is like the programming behind it to where like if something's not programmed correct and like it's programmed incorrectly and we turn AI into like weapons against other countries, but it turns back onto us. That's a war that like mankind can't win.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
there's
it's
no doubt that that shit will happen too, especially once. I mean, it's already happening right now. Like we already have fully autonomous drones as is.
Yeah.
So like it's absolutely insane. Like to think if that actually happens, how fast that it would hit the fan. I think definitely AI would be like just the scariest downfall ever too.
See, I don't even want to
Once,
see it, so I'm going out.
dude,
Like
yeah, I'm
climbing,
cool.
I'm climbing, and I'm jumping off something. I don't want
Papa
to see
said
it.
he'll take care
You're
of it
not gonna
himself.
bunker down, dude. You'll be cool in Texas, man. Texas, they'll be locked and loaded at the border, ready to fight off
True.
robots.
Oh yeah, like we can't smoke weed here, but I mean, if you want a Glock 9 in your pocket and you're 13 years old, go ahead. Like it's not really a
I
big
think
deal.
I think Texas's motto is a well-armed society is a safe one.
Yeah,
They
well,
would be they would be ready, bro. They would be ready for an AI takeover. If it was like the type of shit. What was the Will Smith movie where all the robots were taken over?
iRobot.
iRobot. Yep.
Yep.
Texas would be
That's a good
ready.
one.
yeah, we'd be locked.
Indeed.
I would be locked and loaded. I mean, no matter what.
I think Pennsylvania would be well off too.
Pennsylvania would be pretty good. There, especially
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It just seems like everybody has guns up here.
That and like we got some space in between people too. So
Yeah, it's not super populated except for like the
Right.
major cities, and
Yeah.
even them they aren't that populated. But yeah, ChatGPT is gonna be interesting to follow the next couple months, and I think I've been using it to implement into my own stuff, helping me like write descriptions or like send sales emails and stuff just to see how it responds, and it's been cool. So it'll be interesting to watch. But let's move on to one of the topics that we kind of already touched on a little bit was like most people want money so they can have freedom someday, but the pursuit of trying to get that money limits their freedom in the present day or today. And it's kind of an interesting conundrum.
Big
And I wanted to
difference.
get your opinion on it because for a lot of people, it's kind of like they're on that grind. Like kind of both of us, Alex and I said, like
Mhm.
we're grinding now so we can have our freedom in our 30s. But at the same time, it's like, what if you could be free now?
See, no,
Dude,
I love that. We go
I,
ahead, Alex, because mine was
I
the
was
whole
gonna say,
ramble.
I always have that thought in the back of my head, like of right now, of, you know, everybody always says like the 20s are your best years, and like your college years are your best years, but why not bust your ass in your 20s and make like 30s, 40s, and 50s the best years of your life? Like that's my thought process, but then I always have the thought in the back of my head of, if you're doing all this work and then you're missing out on like the freedoms and the good things of life. So as like we said before, Josh, is like fun in Pope too, where we've talked about
The hell?
finding something. Yeah, something about talking
Do you hear
about
the music or is it just me?
balance. No, I think that's just you. Can you hear mine? Am I like playing music?
I don't know.
I don't hear any music.
Music was just playing in my ear. I don't know where it's coming from.
I connected to your phone. You might have like you might have tapped into Apple Music.
That's crazy if it did. I don't know. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
that's mine though. Is finding the balance though. I think that's my biggest thing of right now, and making sure that I have fun and enjoy the 20s, even though that majority of it is filled with work, and I'm cool with that. So
I'll let you go, Josh. I'm gonna
You're
ramble.
gonna go on a ramble, huh?
I'll
he's going
ramble.
on a tangent.
All right. I think it's kind of an interesting one. I think it's easy to get too caught up in like the hustle, motivation mindset where you're like stuck just grinding. It's got to be 7 days a week, no holidays, no fun. That's preached a lot by some people, and I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it is a balance. But I also think that if you're doing something that you're truly passionate about or something that you really like, it's not even really like you're working. It's still freedom in a way because you're just doing something that you like, and that's the freedom. Um, Instead of getting stuck doing something that you don't want to do. But I also think it ties into like the time that you have to do other things. So for me, like being able to golf, doing creative video, like video and photo started as a hobby for me. So still being able to do it is like a creative thing, a creative outlet for fun, the projects I want to do versus always having to do paid projects is kind of a hard balance to find some days. Um, so I think it's a mix, and I think you can do both, where you can have the freedom now and build up the money, and have even more freedom down the line. Um, it's just kind of it's a hard topic to kind of grasp fully, but that's kind of
Yeah.
my opinion on it right now. I'll see what you say, Popo. Go from there.
I'm
I
gonna take a
don't
leak
think
real quick, boys. No disrespect. The beer got me.
you gonna bring us with you.
No, probably not.
I hear that. What is that?
I hear the music now.
That
Can
was
you,
the music. I don't know how that happened.
was that you?
I think it's in this media tab,
Oh, that's
and you
sick.
can like do drum. I'm just seeing it now. You hear that
Nice.
too?
Yeah, it was a good little
We're just
joke.
playing around with it at this point.
All right, I'm taking a leak.
A laugh track. All right, you have fun.
All right. Well, for me personally, I think it's absolute total bullshit when people don't think that you can have financial freedom in your 20s. Like, and the whole fact that people were like, you have to bust your ass in your 20s to save up to have, like, what kind of fun is it to have fucking money when you're 70? Like, what am I gonna do at 70? I'd rather do everything in my 20s and in my 30s. So that way, and it's not like if you spend money now, you're not going to make money in your 40s. Like, if you look at guys like that, the Ricky Gutierrez kid that I met downtown Austin, he's in his he's in his 20s, and he just bought a private jet. He just
Oh yeah, I saw. You know him?
Yeah, I met him actually a few weeks
I was just
ago.
watching his video today on YouTube. He bought his private jet.
Yeah, no,
What, PJ at
that's
28?
the kid that I DM'd Josh, that I was like, hey,
That was the one.
Jets.
That would have been sweet, actually.
Yeah, no, he is a good kid. Like, he's really cool. Like, he was like super like just very interactive with people. But I don't think you have to bust your ass in your 20s to build financial freedom for your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. I think that if you are whatever, if you're still working your 9 to 5 in your 20s or whatever, like, you can do that. But when all these people are finding multiple streams of income, like Josh, you have two of the biggest sports complexes or sports entities in on the planet that have you hired. You have multiple streams of income in your 20s. And if you revolutionize what you're doing to where you're big enough to work for fucking Juju or something like that, where you're just getting paid to fly out to do shit, like James, for example, like Nolak, it's all a build up that it doesn't have to ruin your 20s. Like, it can all happen like that if you have the right mindset, you have the right people, the right connections, and you put it all together as quickly as possible. Like like that Ricky kid, all he does is he day trades. Like, the real estate market. Like, I could be right now, like, just doing what Danielle does and be completely financially free by the time I'm 26 or 27. Like, I don't think there's you, this stereotype that you have to grind. 20, your years of your 20s are your years for failure. Even your early 30s are your years for failure. Like, Garrett, like I don't follow Gary Vee a whole lot, but like, he literally tells people all the time, and it's true. You can be 32, 35 years old and been doing something for 10 years and completely failed, but you still have so much time left to continue to do what you're doing. And I think financial freedom is all dependent on what you make of it. So, like, for me personally, I would consider myself, just where I stand, more financially free than I've ever been, because if I want to take a week off of work and fly home and go visit my family, I can. I would have never been able to do that before. Like,
Mhm.
I don't.
like it though.
I think
It's been
time is valued more than money, and the more time you
Yeah.
have, the more financially free you are. And that's what it boils down to. So if you're able to, like, the people that are millionaires and billionaires make money in their sleep. They're not doing anything for it. They're running companies, they own companies, they make money in their sleep. So if you value your time more than you value your money, you will make more money than if you valued your money more than you valued your time. That's
Right
my
on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was gonna touch on that too. Is the time is almost a bigger asset than the money, and being able to have like true freedom. I think to me is like kind of the situation I'm in now, where it's like I can do whatever I want during the day, whatever I want during the night, with the exception of having to go to some of these games or like if I have to schedule shoots or whatever. But as far as like freedom, I could take a trip,
Like you
as
said,
long as it doesn't interfere with that stuff.
like, it's,
Yeah, I control the schedule, which is really nice, and I also do have the benefit of the multiple streams of income. So that's kind of very freeing because you don't have to rely on just one thing. You can have, I mean, at this point, I get a paycheck pretty much every week from somebody, and it's like that's been nice because you just always have stuff coming in. And I think the other thing that's been interesting this generation is with TikTok and YouTube and Twitter platforms like that. It's a lot easier to make money on those platforms than people realize, including myself. All it takes is a few thousand subscribers on YouTube. It might require no follow. I mean, like 10,000 followers on TikTok is all you need really to get into the program, the partner program.
Not
and
even
you start to get a little.
to go off of
It
that
might,
quickly, not even
yeah,
to make money off those platforms. It's a lot easier to learn how to make money off different platforms that you would have never
yeah,
touched on.
yeah. There's just so many opportunities now that you were never there in the last. I mean, they weren't there 20 years ago. It wasn't possible. So you can, like you said, have money being made around the clock 24/7. It's pretty much you don't have to touch. Like you upload the videos, and might be it. With the YouTube example, um, but yeah, I'll leave that to Alex. You can kind of chime in if you want.
Dude, yeah, no, of course. I mean, we were talking about. I think like the YouTube and TikTok's super interesting. Like, God forbid, like even if this podcast, like we get on subscribers that go up to like 1,000, and then we start monetizing. Like, for somebody to be like 17 and be able to do that, I think is like the dopest thing ever. And if you
Yeah,
can't do that, all the power to you. And like, if you, I think like trying it is just the best thing possible too. So, I mean, listen to the end of that, and we're gonna keep plugging along and doing our things and posting too. So, I mean, I'm excited for the future of like what this podcast can hold. Um, I know we're gonna put the time in for it, and we're gonna make it successful and everything we do, and we're having fun with it too. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I mean, to be quite honest, like to go off of that, like bringing on like proper guests, people that's why podcast is super cool too, because it's doing what you love and it's also free marketing when you bring on new people. So, like,
Right on.
not to say that we're gonna get it, and not to discredit anyone that we've brought on. I think that every podcast we've had has had its own form of unique, um, transparent vibe to it, which has been super cool. I mean, even in the last podcast when I was listening to it, like bringing on Kiki, like that was super cool because that's something that like none of us can relate to.
Yeah, it was totally different. That one was like kind of fun because I had absolutely no idea about any type of pageantry. I'm like, when she was talking, dude,
yeah.
when she was talking about the Botox, the fillers that goes into it, I didn't know that they were allowed to do that shit. I was like, holy, like I was like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
it's cool to see like the different perspective of things that you don't get to experience or you might not have experienced yet. So I think it's cool to be
Yeah,
like diverse with it and you know try to change it up.
But that's
yeah,
why
and we,
podcasting is so cool because it's the same thing that like even in that Russ song that I sent you, Josh, when he says like there's always something that someone's going through that you don't know, and it's
Hmm.
like just listening to like some like each person's perspective on life and like kind of where people start versus where they're at now versus where they want to be, like and stuff like that. Like I know, like me personally, probably the most like influential one was probably Jared, just because like his story. I mean, I've never heard someone talk like so. It almost like philosophical, dude. Like like
right. The
everything that
crazy,
dude says is like it's like
the
almost like
crazy part,
mesmerizing. It's crazy.
the crazy part with his too is like he didn't really even hardly touch on like all the stuff that he really went through with like his knee and health issues, bro. Like if that one, like I don't know if he would talk about it, particularly like on the podcast. I think he would, like if we brought it up on like a further episode down the line. But bro, like to go through all of that too, and then have the store and then everything like right now that's going on, it's pretty cool. And I think like we have the ability to bring on some like really cool people, and we have fun with it and learn from everybody else too. So it's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
no, I think
another. Go ahead,
no, you're good. I was just gonna say I think we've been able to bring on some cool guests so far, and I think it's been cool that we've had some cool connections at a young age and a lot of like very helpful and willing to engage people that are like, yeah, like I'll jump on, because it
And we're
does
gonna
mean a
bring
lot to
more,
us.
and we're bringing
Oh,
more to the future too.
oh
So
yeah, we have
everybody that's
people
listening,
lined up. I mean, every time we put one of those questions out, we always get a new response, and we always get multiple responses. So we have a list of people.
McGregor on this podcast.
We could someday. That's what's crazy. And I was telling Alex the other day is it's like you just have to see the vision. And I saw the vision from my own stuff, and I was just there was never any doubt. It was just like it was gonna happen. It was manifesting basically. I was like, this is gonna happen, and it did. And I see the same thing with this podcast. Is we're gonna be successful with it. It's gonna grow. We're gonna have some really interesting people on here. And maybe it is something we can monetize in the future. And it's not even like a doubt. I just know because the three of us have been very successful with what we've done so far and what we've accomplished at a young age. There's just no doubt. It all ties back to that video too, the little Instagram video with Jack Harlow.
What Jack Harlow vid?
The one I sent you where he's like, there's just never any doubt. We just knew we were gonna get it.
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
I always go back to that one.
Yeah, no, that is it. Manifestation's real too, man.
My favorite's the Conor McGregor one that I always send you. From nothing to
You
something.
can see it here, and you
If
believe
can
it
see
here.
it here,
You believe
it's
it.
feeling
You have the
here.
courage to speak it.
Speak it.
He goes, you speak it.
That's a great one.
When he's
You ever see the
when he's
one-
getting interviewed by Ariel Helwani, he's got the belt on his shoulder after he won the featherweight belt, and he's like, "So here I am, Connor. Like we had this interview like almost a year ago, and you predicted this. Like, what do you have to say?" And he's like, "From nothing to something to everything." And that's
That's a good
all
one.
Man,
I
bro,
want to say.
he's such a
One
showman.
minute.
He's such a showman, bro. He was entertaining to watch when he was a fighter.
Yeah,
He
but
was so entertaining.
one like I guess like one last thing for me really that I notice from everyone that we bring on, whether I've been on it or I haven't been on it, a common theme that I get certainly from us and I get from guests that we bring on too, is that like every single human being in their life is going to go through adversities. And the difference between us and people we bring on versus some other people in society, and this is not to shit on anyone either, is when adversity smacks you in the face, you either crumble and fall and you want pity, or you work against it and you fight that off. And that's either what's going to make you stronger as a human being, or that's going to make you weaker. Like it's just either you go one route or the other. And I feel like that's what's connected all of us. Is it's like shit hasn't been easy. Like Josh, I remember when like I was making fun of you all the fucking time for doing stuff for exposure.
It wasn't even just you. It was
Like,
a couple people. Everybody was like,
was
"Wow, this
funny.
free exposure."
And like even like I remember just yelling out the window at you when you'd be like washing Reese's car or something. Like
Right, bro.
and it's like you got adversities. Like you got to think about things when like the money's not there or like the timing's not there, or it's just like when you sit down and you look and you're like, where do I go from here? You have two options. You either quite literally nut up and go for it, or you crumble and fall.
Amen. Not up or shut
I
up.
love it. That's a quote right
I want-
there. I'm gonna mark that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on a
Put me-
t-shirt.
Tag
I'm
me.
a-
I
I'm a
want
solid-
the controversy too. I want it.
We're gonna trademark it and put it on a t-shirt and make
Yeah,
it.
that could be the next T-shirt round.
That could be our
But,
MVP podcast.
Speaking of that, everybody go to our Instagram, go to all that, check out. We still got t-shirts available. I hope we still got that shit on
we
there.
do.
Yeah, we still got some
Yeah,
shirts
they're
available.
cool.
I
I
gotta
don't
go
know.
on there and buy
They've
some.
been selling like crazy, so I don't know if we had any more left.
I don't know how we have so many left, or we don't have any left. I don't know how.
Yeah, like hey, look it, this shit's growing. Help out the cause. We're gonna buy more gear. Shit, you buy our stuff, we'll bring on Aaron Donald. That's on Josh.
I got
never know.
they're
Hey,
lining up,
There's
right?
connections in the work that could make that happen. So we'll see.
We do know a guy.
We know of a guy.
We know of a guy that knows a guy that knows Aaron Donald. So pretty much, just like at the bar the other night on New Year's, my sister was in Turks and Caicos and she was with Drake. So I told this.
That was sick. I saw that.
That
I was
pretty
like,
cool.
Yeah, she was in Turks and Caicos literally with Drake. And
Yeah, did you tell her to like get Drake on MVP? Were you like, hey, bro, like we have a
yeah,
podcast?
so that was my reaction was like, yo, call me, hurry up and let's get Drake on MVP.
Just be like, I have a really important thing to tell Drake right now.
Like put him on a phone, but like so therefore I told this group of individuals at the bar because they told me they insulted me and told me I looked like I was just coming out of a business meeting and it was New Year's and I thought I looked good. I was like, what the hell? That's insulting. And I was like, don't you know me? I know Drake. This picture? They're like, that's a picture. I was like, well, my sister took it, but like I know Drake because she knows Drake.
Yeah, that's cool.
Incredible.
All right.
Incredible.
I think we should probably start wrapping it up.
Yeah,
so we're
we
at
could.
an hour and 10.
Hey, that's
That
all
was
right.
that was good combos right there, boys, and it's always a pleasure to get everybody back on.
Yeah,
And-
You
no.
want to hit the speed round still, or you just want to wrap it?
Hey, it's up to you. I
Let's
could
save
go-
the speed round for the next one.
We could save it for some more ammo. I think we covered some good stuff.
There was a lot in that episode.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to get you back on, Pope.
You know, I plan on being on more, especially if we have this software now. Definitely I can hold one.
Yeah, this seems to work pretty good, so I'm excited to look at the final result.
Right on. But appreciate it as always for everybody that's tuning in right now. If you made
Yeah.
it to the hour plus mark, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're looking forward to the future, and I hope everybody else is on it. So that was always a pleasure,
Appreciate
boys.
all the support. It was
Yeah.
good talking to y'all.
All right, peace.
So.